Olympian Jonathan Edwards here, and welcome to another video. Listen, I'm posting a video or an audio that you can get on iTunes or Google Podcasts or Stitcher or any of that stuff, and on YouTube every single day to inspire athletes across the globe, which is really, really cool. So I would appreciate it if you'd share this, send it on to your athlete or your coach or the parents of those athletes. I sure would appreciate it, and I'll see you guys soon. So listen, today's topic, I'm going to talk about, at some point in time, competition and the idea of becoming competitive became a bad word, right? And I find this really fascinating because, take for example, at the start of a marathon, I'm not a marathon runner, but I can picture this. Actually, when I was young, when I was in high school, I worked the finish line of the Boston Marathon every year all the way through high school, and it was a lot of fun. And I always remember that the first group of athletes that would finish the marathon, they were always your Kenyan runners, your African runners. They were dark-skinned, crazy lean, really expensive shoes, really short shorts, and they flew. And then there'd be the second group of athletes that was, aspirational, but probably a little bit genetically deficient to those Kenyan runners training at high altitude who grew up running in their bare feet. This was a really big hurdle to overcome. And then there was everybody else. But one of the things that I always found really interesting was that the everybody else's didn't kind of curse and complain about the elite runners. There were times when the elite runners actually complained about the lesser runners, and what they started to do was they actually created a wave of pro runners, and then they had the pro men, and they have the pro women, and they would start off at kind of in their own race, and then everybody else would start. It wasn't this idea that, those guys are bad news because they train every day, it's their life, and they really want to go for it. It's just this overall camaraderie that, hey, we're all running together. I may finish last, you may win, good on you. The cool tradition at the Boston Marathon is that the winners come back to the finish line. After they've kind of maybe showered and changed their shoes and gotten a bite to eat, they'll come back to the finish line and they'll pass out blankets and finishing medals to the winners. They also do this in Ironman triathlon at the World Championships in Kona every year in Hawaii. And it's just a really great feeling. But for a lot of my athletes that grow up, they're going through high school and they're going through team sports and whatnot, it's become normal that if you want to really make that dream come true, let's say you want to play in college, let's say you want to play professionally, but on your team there's other kids that are just kind of there and they're just enjoying the sport. It's not good for you to be that athlete anymore. It's rare when families go, hey, my kid's not going to be like that kid, but good on you. It's more like, no, wait a second. No, everybody needs to just slow down. We got to just take the competitiveness out of it. Forget it. No, just get back in line. Let's play. Let's all have fun. And this baffles me because I work with the athletes who are in that upper 10%, and they're the ones that want to make it happen. And what's really interesting to me is that it's not just an attitude for those athletes, right, in order to be competitive. It's all about habits. Because the athlete that's on that team, and I've coached plenty of teams, and any coach watching me right now will agree with this. You've had athletes on your team who weren't the competitive kid. Like, they're not gonna go to the Olympics. They're not gonna play in college or play professionally, but they were good kids. And when you think about it, what did they do? They showed up to practice on time. They had all their gear. Their jerseys were clean. They brought their water bottle. They showed up on time, right? Those are all habits. The difference between the competitive kid then and the kid that's not competitive is not the habits that they then exhibit on the field or in practice. It's their intention. Okay. Now, the athlete that maybe doesn't have it, is genetically behind, is too tall or too chubby or whatever, they still can show up and have a great experience applying all those fantastic habits in order to try to make their dreams come true. But the intention is like, okay, if they want to play pro, well, maybe that athlete now goes off and they decide to lose some weight, or they decide to take extra reps after practice, or they, mom or dad invests in a little bit better equipment for them to make the game easier for them. But somewhere along the way, that idea of being competitive and really wanting to go for it has become tarnished. And I don't like that, because I can tell you that if everybody in a program just adopted the same level of habits that those competitive kids had, everybody would get better and probably have more fun. Right? That's always a little bit of a mystery. People think that for some reason, if I'm trying to be competitive, I'm not going to have fun. And that's not true, right? So I'm going to guess that if you're watching me right now, you're probably more on the competitive side. You want to be successful at this thing, right? You've adopted this task, whatever your sport is, and you're applying all of the techniques and tactics necessary to help you be the best you can be to be good at this particular thing. And that's what being gameful is all about. Whether you're playing a game, whether it's a sport or a board game, the idea is that you're going into it with this intention of like, you know what, I want to do this as best as I can. Not, I'm just going to dumb it down a little bit and just kind of play for whatever. You know, you can do anything for that. You can watch Netflix if you want to do that. You know, but the idea is this, I want to figure this thing out. This thing that's in front of me. Could be math, could be English, could be cleaning the floors, could be playing a sport. The idea is like, how can I do this as efficiently as possible? That's what competitiveness is all about. It's not trying to be competitive against somebody else. Ultimately, your success comes down to your ability to be as efficient as possible for you and to improve your skills and your habits to the best of your ability to do that. Now, if you end up and you want to now challenge yourself above and beyond your current training group, your team, your town, your state, your region, whatever, that's totally up to you. But if you're that athlete or you're the family of that athlete, I want you to be proud of that experience. And if you're not, if you're watching me for some reason, if you've watched this far and you're like, wait, what? If you're looking at those athletes and you're cursing them, if you're throwing jealousy their way, that's all falling back on you anyway, right? That's your own internal stuff. So don't hold them back, right? So for those competitive athletes, here's the deal. You're gonna run into that inertia. I did that video a few days ago about, you know, worrying what other people think. And one of the best things you can do is the idea of being competitive has nothing to do with those people who may criticize you for trying to be competitive. It's all about you overcoming your own internal beliefs, your own internal challenges, getting as efficient as you can be in your day, in your life, in your sport, to have the best success you can have at that task, to see how far it will take you, nobody else, you, right? Because from that example, you are gonna bring other athletes along with you. They're gonna see your example. They're gonna get inspired by it. It's gonna uplift your entire team, your entire program. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for the idea of being competitive. It all comes down to your intent, nobody else's. So remember that and think a little bit today. Maybe there's been things holding you back. Maybe you've wanted to do more. Maybe you've wanted to take extra reps. Maybe you want to go for extra run. Maybe you've wanted to try going on a fast, or you wanted to try like a new supplement, or go to a chiropractor, or get a massage. Whatever those things may be, right? Maybe you've been holding yourself back. Don't. Identify those things and make a phone call right now. Go out today, send an email, make a contact with somebody who can help you get to the next level. If that's me, great. But for the most part, it's probably gonna be somebody local that can help you like right now. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to be a competitor. And don't be afraid to be a competitor either. All right, see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.